What's up, nerds? Welcome to NGR Radio B-Sides. Remember, you can find B-Sides every Thursday right here on youtube.com/NGR Radio. Joining me, as always, Matt and Moose. And we're here to answer an email question. Are you kids ready for this email?
Yeah.
I'm ready for emails, especially one that's not a spam sex email. So
Awesome.
Here we go.
Or a business proposal from a doctor?
Yeah. I mean, I could read this junk mail for you right now.
Yeah, we don't have to. I mean, I just forward the Nigerian prince one to my personal email, and I'll take care of that offline.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
I mean, I got your back.
Got your back. Okay, this comes from Greg Schnabel. He asked, this was originally a Powbot question, but we're going to answer it here because it's better. He says, so my question may not be something you haven't had to deal with yet, but you never know. What do you do with all the stuff you've collected through the years? I've collected a lot of stuff over the years, including books, movies, Blu-ray DVDs, and even some VHS tapes. And for you younger listeners, that's what movies went on before there were DVDs. Comics, toys, and of course, video games and related stuff. I've trimmed it down over the years, but there's still a lot to go through. Thanks, guys, and have a good show, Greg. So, collections. I used to collect a ton of stuff when I was little. Mm-hmm. Transformers, moved into Ninja Turtles, moved into Power Rangers, and then, of course, video games. Collected a ton of those. And guess what? It's a lot. There's just a lot of crap that maybe if I was smarter as a child, I would have realized, hey, that $7 could have gone in a bank somewhere. But kids, right? Am I right?
Well, they don't know, and you don't even know in your 20s. I got rid of I don't really have a collection anymore. I'm down to like 3 consoles: the Switch, the Vita, and 4. PS3 and PS4, but I used to have like almost every console, every generation. I'd be buying them. Like I haven't bought every console in a generation in a long time. So it's just like you're going through life, and you're in your 20s, and you got some disposable income. You're like buying every CD you want to listen to. You're buying every movie you want to watch, and then eventually, I got to the point in my life where I'm like, I don't need to buy every movie that comes out that I loved. Like I could go to the theater and see it once, and it's just like, am I really playing that DVD more than once? Like I have a couple that I'll keep just because they have sentimental value to me, and I really enjoy the movie, and I might throw it in my PS4 and watch it later. But like as far as like video game collections go, like I got rid of all my. I think the last big purge was before the 360. So it was like GameCube, PS2, Xbox, like those 3 just did a massive purge and got rid of all that stuff. And I mean, I'm not even talking like collections like, hey, here's a special edition, here's some Amiibos. I'm just talking like video games and controllers. I like to collect controllers, apparently. I had a lot of the PS2 Japanese import controllers, like the red one, the yellow one, like all those cool controllers I had. And so I just had like just tons of stuff. And like now that I live in a house that's smaller than what I grew up in, and then also what I lived in prior to moving here 3 years ago, it's just like I don't have space for the stuff. So it's kind of like a check for me. It's like I don't need to buy like, I see, everybody knows me and Matt are huge Dark Souls fans. Like I see that Dark Souls collection, and I'm like, that would be insanely awesome to have. But I'll be honest, I already own Dark Souls 2 remastered, Dark Souls 3. I just need Dark Souls remastered. Like as you can see behind Matt, you can get the soundtracks individually, which I probably will do on vinyl. I'll probably invest in that someday. But it's just like I don't need that $400 collection. I don't have any place to put it. If I had a shelf to put it on, then that would be good. So it's kind of cool, like getting yourself in check. And then, I even purged my DVD collection way back in 2009, 2010, I just got rid of so many movies, and I used it to pay for my video game addiction. Like I started playing like a bunch of that was when Xbox Live Arcade and indie games really hit it off. Where the two of us, like I really got hooked by them, like playing Bastion, Castle Crashers, like just looking for those next indie games. And so I just bought a whole crap ton of Microsoft points and was buying indie games left and right. And so now that's where a lot of my money goes, is like digital games.
You didn't
like
buy a whole crap, you collected Microsoft points.
I did collect them. But I mean, like so like now my collection is digital. And so, you know, like I'll pick up a digital game. Like I just picked up Children of the Zodiarcs, which was a Kickstarter game by the people that were huge fans of Final Fantasy Tactics. So it's like Final Fantasy Tactics mixed with a card game mixed with dice rolling. Like you actually roll dice on the screen. So it's pretty cool. But so like I picked that up, and, you know, I'm hoping to play it eventually, but it's just, you know, you collect games. And even now I'm like, do I really need this game? Do I really need that game? You know, like, I'm like, my backlog is huge. That's why I'm doing the 2018 challenge. And so you eventually get to a point in your age, or you get a point in your life where you're just like, I don't need to buy like everything, you know. And I used to do it at one time just to be like supportive of my hobby, to be like, oh, I need to support video games. I need to like throw money. And it's like, you know what? Video game industry is doing fine. You know what I mean? It's not going to do. So I will admit, I probably have a list of like 10 developers, and I'll throw in Digital Devolver because they're a great publisher who finds great developers.
Well, they do develop games too. They do.
So like I have a list of 10 that like they put out a game. If I go, maybe I'll get that, I get it, because I want to support them like directly. Like Supergiant Games, who did Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre. I will buy any game they put out, no matter what, just because I love them and I want to see this succeed and stay in business. And so, like that's pretty much it, you know. And then buying AAA, like when you go to buy AAA, like coming out soon is Burnout the remaster came out. Not the biggest fan of Burnout Paradise. I'm not like the hugest fan of the series. I'm interested in the series, but it's like I'm not gonna buy that until there's a sale. You know what I mean? Like instead of just buying it day one and maybe not touching it until it goes on sale. And it's like, well, man, look at all that money I lost, you know, when I could have just waited for a sale. So like now it's like there's only certain games that I buy day one, like God of War. I pre-ordered that day one. Dark Souls Remastered, I'll pre-order that and have that day one. But like games like Far Cry 5, I'll wait till it's $10 if I'm gonna pick it up or something like that. So you really get to a point where you have to like balance the amount of space you have in your house for collecting video game stuff and collections in of themselves, like special editions, and then like also what you're going to do with your time, and like, are you really going to get to it? You know what I mean? And then also, what do you want to do with your money? Hey, I eventually like to retire sometime, you know, and you need to, you know, pay for a car, but like adulthood seeps in, you know? So.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in a day when like, you know, seemingly people are getting paid less to do the jobs, like, you know, in terms of like, if you include inflation and stuff, people are getting paid less and we have more bills. Like in the information age we have, like I just had this conversation with my dad the other day, maybe like a couple months ago, but like, you know, we have to pay for internet and cell phone bills and Netflix. And I mean, we don't have to, but all this stuff is kind of like, we couldn't be doing this right now if we didn't pay for internet. You know, we couldn't be, you know, we couldn't call in case of emergency our loved ones if we didn't have cell phones. You know, these things are becoming more and more essential to everyday life. And like when my parents grew up, they paid for electric,
water, phone.
Yeah.
Like house phone, not like cell phone, house phone.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, pretty much it, you know, and like your water bill took care of like, you know, like your trash and all that stuff. And like, that was pretty much like your utilities, quote unquote, like that's what you paid and that was it. And then, you know, in our day and age, like now they're finding ways to tack things on. Oh, hey, get Netflix, $10 a month, get Hulu, $8 a month, You know, I mean, I'm still not paying what I pay for a cable bill.
Yeah.
You know, because I just pay internet and then I stream some stuff, pay for streaming services, but that's pretty much it. You know, like it's not. So
yeah.
Our entertainment's going up, and I feel like our generation is coming to grips with just staying home and just chillaxing and not going out a lot faster, and is embracing it a lot more quickly than the older generations did, because like it's like I'm not gonna go out and pay for shitty food or like pay a shit ton of money for food when I can buy some stuff, cook it at home, throw on a movie, and especially now that movies are coming to streaming service so much faster. Like if you think about it, like when we were like, 20 years ago, when I was 18, Jesus Christ, like it would take like a year or two for a movie would be in the theaters to DVD, and now it's like 6 months. I mean, what?
You look at Star Wars. It comes out in March on Blu-ray, and it came out in what, December, the first week of December,
right? And it's because they're realizing that things are changing. So like the habits of people are changing to where I'll be honest, I just fucking hate people. So like me and my wife went out Saturday night to have dinner and some drinks with some friends of ours, and then we went back to their house and hung out. But we don't do that a whole heck of a lot, just because it's like we got to go out and deal with people. You know what I mean? So it's just like I'd rather just have a chill night at home. Obviously, I've got some games to play with my challenge. She's reading books all the time and watching new series, and so we'll watch a series together every once in a while. And it's just I'd rather do that than go out and drink. And plus, with the high gravity beers I'm drinking, I don't need to be driving, so and I don't have to wear pants. That's the best part.
I mean sold.
Exactly. See, it's not that hard to be a salesman.
No.
And so to answer the question of like collections, it's just however, whatever his age is, he'll find a shift. He'll find a shift where he's like, I'm collecting less, and not only collecting less, but investing more time in what he's already bought. You know what I mean? Like I said, like I'm trying to go back through my backlog and play my backlog, and I'm like, these are a lot of fun games, and like I'm glad that I'm getting to play them now, and it's making me want to not buy anything except just the PlayStation exclusives when they come out. Like Days Gone got pushed to 2019, but I'm talking like God of War, Spider-Man, Detroit. Like those are the only games I'll be buying, and I'll be playing older games till I get to them.
Yeah. Plus, like I know we are all very excited for Microsoft's upcoming library, but like with
what?
It was a joke, dude.
I know.
I'm just saying, like the Game Pass subscription service makes it easier for people to not like as much as we say we have to pay for more things like Netflix, Xbox Game Pass, Redbox, these types of things like make it easier for us not to have to collect things because it's so convenient to get these things elsewhere. The digital age also makes it more convenient. Like
you don't have to leave your house.
That's what killed Napster and Kazaa and stuff was iTunes made it easy for people to purchase music. And that's why those services are gone. Now we're moving more into like Apple Music and Spotify and Pandora and stuff. And that stuff is all a lot easier than going out and buying a CD.
And
it's almost easier than searching goddamn iTunes.
Right. Yeah. And on a side note, 10, 15 years ago, I said I was diehard against I will always own my collection. I will always own my collection. I tried Spotify for like 2-3 months. It was like, I'm done. Like, I don't need to own my collection. You know what I'm saying? Like everything. Some stuff like Tool isn't on there, but it's whatever. I have those CDs ripped somewhere. I can put them on my phone if I want to listen to Tool.
There are like 4 or 5 bands that everybody wants that just aren't on Spotify.
Right. And so it's like, okay, you got Spotify, you got this great service. And now, like I first jumped on it when it first came to America. What was that, 2010, 2012, whatever. I think it was 2010. And I had a Droid phone. I put it on there, was listening to Spotify. And now it's freaking crazy to where like they have radio stations like Pandora which are better than Pandora. They
Yep.
recommend artists to you, so you could be like, oh, like I like this artist, or I'm listening to this artist now, and it'll tell you it's like this artist. And, like, you can go over to that artist, and it's just they do such a way better job of curating like what you not necessarily controlling what you're listening to, but helping you find newer stuff inside your little ecosystem. You know what I mean? So,
well, they help you find stuff that you didn't know about too.
Right, that's true too.
Like
I found Blood Red Shoes out of the UK, and they're a 2-piece band, and they've been around since like the 2000s.
Yeah, but all you had to do in that was type in 2-piece bands, Moose.
Yeah, I know, asshole. I know. So, but
yeah. And plus, you know, and when Nintendo ever gets around to putting Virtual Console on Switch, but like the Wii also made it so easy to purge a lot of the older games that, like, you know, the Wii and the Wii U and now like Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, when games get ported over there, you know, last summer I made a big purge of all my old NES and Super NES and Genesis stuff. Like, I kept the games that meant the most to me. You know, for Super Nintendo, I kept 3 games. I kept the Mario All Stars plus World Kart.
As you should.
I kept A Link to the Past. I kept Turtles in Time, and I kept one other game. I think did
you keep that sealed copy of Earthbound you have?
Oh yeah, I don't have a sealed copy of Earthbound. What was the other game I kept? I kept one other game. I forget what it was. What was it?
God, that's a game that everyone fucking says they've played, but no one's played.
What, Earthbound?
Yeah.
I've never played Earthbound. Well, I lied. I played about 10 minutes of Earthbound. I'm like, I don't like this game.
Yeah, on Wii U when it came back out, right?
Yeah. I think that's where I played it. It wasn't on my Wii U though, so I didn't spend the $10 to get it.
Right. Like, and I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I doing this?
And then everybody was freaking out that Earthbound Beginnings came out. I'm like, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, and no.
And then like
anyway.
And then the NES, my NES collection, I kept my Ninja Turtles games because those are the games I had the fondest memories of. I kept the Mario games, and I kept what was the other game? I only kept like 7 games for my NES because like I'm just like, these are the games I had the most fondness with. I don't need 25 NES cards. What am I going to do with 25 NES cards? You know?
Yeah.
I have 47 versions of Tetris. What am I going to do with this NES Tetris cart? You know?
You don't need them all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need all those versions. And
the next purge I'm going to go through probably sooner than later is probably my N64 and GameCube stuff. Not that I really want to, but like, you know,
probably going to make space, and you got a baby coming on.
Mm-hmm. You know, I already got rid of like 90% of the DVDs and Blu-rays I ever owned. CDs, I don't even know where any of my CDs are. That's how much music I listen to. But you know,
I purged those motherfuckers too, man. I got rid of my CDs. Like, I ripped everything and the highest quality I could to my iMac or my laptop and put it on a hard drive. And I've got it sitting somewhere. It's the same hard drive I backed my PS4 up to for, you know, when I had to switch hard drives, and has PT hidden somewhere. But like, I don't need any of those discs anymore because I don't use a CD driver in a CD tray in my car. And my new one doesn't even have one. I have 3 different ways to play music in my car. I've got an auxiliary jack,
and none of them are CD.
Right. I have a USB port, which I can plug a charger into, and it'll play through that. Or I have Bluetooth, which I generally use Bluetooth. But it's just like, I don't have to use CD, you know, so I don't need CDs anymore, you know? So it's just, you're just like, man, it's like, I don't need this crap. Get rid of it. Get out of my life. Cleanse your life. Because I look at like what my parents have in their house, and I'm like, why do you have this stuff? Yeah. Mom, why do you need all this stuff? I know you like to collect it, but it's like, mainly because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm gonna have to clean that shit up. Sadly, when they pass away, like me and my brothers will, and it's like, I know some of it's mine. I will have to say though, out of the 3 brothers that the 3 children my mom had, I'm the one that has the least amount of shit in her house. like my older brother and my younger brother definitely have a lot of stuff in there. Mainly my younger brother, because he's still in an apartment, so he doesn't have a place to put all his crap. So he's working on that. But anyways, it's just, It's just like, yeah, like, and that's the biggest thing is you're like, if I buy this, where the fuck am I gonna put it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So it's like,
and that's
I've got a console with a TV, 2 consoles because I got the Switch, and it's like that's all I need. Like I can't do anything else. Like I'm good.
Everything I own this generation except for Switch is digital. You know, like I don't have room for all these Xbox cases or all these PlayStation cases. You know, I just don't. And like I traded in, like when I traded in my 360 because Xbox One is backwards compatible. I took all my games in and got gift cards, and I'm like, you know, I already own all the Gears games digital because when you bought Gears 4, it came with all of them. You know, there's a couple Xbox 360 games that I rebought because of backwards compatibility, but I just traded them in for like, I think I got a controller and a bunch of PlayStation Network gift cards and a bunch of Xbox gift cards when I traded all that in because I'm like, I'm just going to buy this stuff digitally. I don't need this stuff anymore, you know, and I don't even have time to play the games that I own. So.
Yeah. That's the other thing. And you've got a kid on the way. So it's like, you can get rid of you might have to cannibalize your collection to help feed your habit.
I mean, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I've already started.
Yeah,
you know, I've already started to do that. I'm already like, what can I get rid of so we can start putting money towards stuff? And
yeah,
I've already started doing that, you know, and the last great collection is my Nintendo collection. And I'm like, that's going to be the hardest one to do, but at some point I'm going to have to do it. So
ripping the Band-Aid off is a lot easier than trying to do like a
like you said, once it's out of here, like it'll be like a day before I realize it's not here, and it'll be like, oh well,
you'll be like whatever, you know.
Yes,
and I was kind of the same way. Like it was really crazy. Like when I picked up my Vita to go back to like start playing that to get my switch up from playing the Switch. And so like, holy crap, this thing is small, you know, and I haven't touched it in a while. So it's just like, if I would have sold it off to help pay for a Switch, it wouldn't have been a problem. I didn't need to, but you know what I mean? Like like in your instance, man, it's like, you just say goodbye to an old friend and you're just like, I'm going to move on with my life. And, you know, and you always remember the good times. You always remember the good times about all your games and stuff. But then later on, you're just like, okay, whatever. I'm on to the next thing, you know?
Yep.
So, like, I was sad to get rid of my 360 because of Skyrim. Like, I didn't build a PC, didn't have the money to build a PC. And when I got rid of my 360, I was just like, I won't have Skyrim. But, like, the last time I tried to turn on my 360, it froze on me twice. So I was like, that's it. I'm going to keep playing my PS4, you know? And I got rid of it. And now it came out on PS4, but you know, you gotta have the small victories, the compromises. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many factors in there on like what you're doing.
For me, it's kind of an assessment. It's that you have to have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. Like it is time to say, like, and it's happened for me every time I've moved. When I first moved, like when I met my ex-wife back home, like I was living in an apartment and she was about to move here. So when she moved, I made some arrangements with my parents so I could move back there to save money for moving here. Right. I did that, and like that was my first real big purge. I actually didn't purge a whole lot because I didn't have a lot. Because that's your first apartment.
Right.
It's a lot like that old Jeff Foxworthy joke. Just go look it up. Not the redneck stuff, the other one. And then when I moved here, like it was even another like this is what I have to leave. And and there were certain things that I left behind. I just said, hey, I know that I'm leaving some stuff in your basement, Mom and Dad, but don't throw this stuff away until I've had a chance to come back and go through it. And they said, okay, just this stuff, mark it, just make sure it's marked. And you know what? I went through and marked like about 5-10 boxes of things and said, this is stuff that is Matt's, and he will come back and get rid of what doesn't need to be gotten rid of, or what needs to be getting rid of.
Right. You'll take what you want to take, or
yeah. And it took me a few years, but I did it. And then when divorce happened, and there's a natural splitting up of stuff. That was a purge as well. It wasn't so much like it wasn't like I was making. I had to give stuff up because my ex-wife and I split pretty amicably. We didn't get any lawyers involved. We just said, hey, we're just kind of done. And I'm actually still in the midst of my most recent purge because I've moved in with my girlfriend now. And if anyone's going to ask, no, I didn't move in with my girlfriend because I was cheating on my wife. No, that this is years.
Okay, I'd tell that story.
Was that a question somebody asked you?
Well, because when you talk about divorce and new girlfriend, they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give people a timetable. Like there was years in between my divorce and Reba. And
what?
Yeah. So the reason, like right now, you're seeing me in my living room. Reba's not the happiest that I keep podcasting in here, but I have 3 jobs, and trying to set aside like a day or two to go through and do my purge to get rid of what needs to be getting rid of and set up my office. It just hasn't happened.
It's rough, man.
I mean, and she's like, it's okay, just clean up after yourself. Don't just leave the podcast stuff out. And
don't leave your 7 cans of beer lying on the floor.
I feel like I've been like 60 to 65. I've been like 60 to 65% successful, but I'm working on it.
Well, I mean, it's rough, and I understand. Like, you're working crazy hours than I was when I started my job, and I was working like 14 to 16-hour days. I had off on weekends, but even on the weekends, I'm like, I don't want to fucking do a thing.
Yeah.
Because you're just so mentally exhausted from your job. My job was I sit and clicked on a keyboard and clicked a mouse, so it wasn't like really physically exhausting. It was just mentally exhausting, and you're like, I don't want to do a damn thing. So I would be coming home, podcast, and go right to bed, and then get up and go to work, and rinse and repeat for the beginning of the week. Because we record this on Mondays, and then like Tuesdays is NGP now. When I took that over, but it was just like, I can totally understand, she's kind of feeling like, kind of want you to have your own space. And it's like, I'm trying to do it, baby. Like I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row,
She's totally cool. She's right. Like, she's she does she nudges me in the right way.
Yeah.
And that's all I can ask, rather than just saying, hey, maybe someone should just clean up their shit. And I'm like,
which is great. I think that Reba is a very considerate person and considerate person. Mm-hmm. But I do like it when she kicks you in the ass when you need it. So that's always good.
Oh yeah,
it's good. But
that's the one thing. That's one thing you and Corey have both been present for. Ironically, when you met her, Moose, she had a reason to say, "Hey, whoa," and I'm pretty sure, like at some point, I stepped out of line and he was like, "Hey, whoa," in front of Corey and Sana. And so I think I saw Sana look at Corey and go, "See, that's why I do it." You
got to pull in the reins a little bit.
And then Corey and I just had a moment like, "Yep, we have no control anymore."
Pretty much the only I mean, I love my wife, but she keeps me alive. Like that's it. Like they're just there. She's just there so I don't fucking, die doing something stupid.
I mean my wife keeps me alive too. I think she keeps me not as fat as I already am because she left tonight for she's still gone. She went out with some friends tonight. And she usually makes me like a salad and some normal chicken and stuff. Yeah. Tonight I shoved my face with nachos and cheese and some chicken patty sandwiches with goops of mayonnaise on it. And then I just was like, oh yeah, that's why I eat the other stuff.
Yeah, because you feel like crap.
Yeah.
I do feel like crap, and so
Yeah.
But and then my last thing on collections, like there's a way to get rid of the things that you love. There's a way to get rid of it, but I don't think it's set in stone. I don't think there's any like one way to do it.
right.
Like I figured out really early on in my life that I was super into music. So if I was going to part with anything that had to do with that, it was going to have to be, for a specific reason. Like, and the vinyl will pretty much stay with me until I've gotten rid of it. Unless I somehow make enough money to build a nice mausoleum where I can keep it for no reason whatsoever. But like video games and stuff, like I was sad when I turned in my Wii U, but I knew I was getting a Switch with it. And I had to say, you know what, you're just not going to get a chance to play Tokyo Mirage Sessions. You gotta
trade that in for Breath of the Wild on the go, for Mario on the go, and you didn't know it at the time, but now it's Dark Souls on the go.
Yeah, shit. So but like my CDs, I'm still in the midst of getting rid of. Because I'm about to do what you did, Moose. I need to re-burn it all onto a hard drive because it was on my old computer. My old computer just is dead. But once I do that, I will just find the quickest, easiest way to say, hey, take this. I don't even want money for it. Just take it.
Yeah.
And then my DVDs, I need to get rid of because I had a couple thousand and
whoa.
Yeah, that's way more than I had, but I was at least at 100, 200 possibly.
Like there was a time where I was using like buying DVDs as sort of like my studying up on film.
But see, that's understandable.
And I was doing that and music and CDs at the same time because like being a music critic, but then also having a over passionate interest in film. So I have a lot of Criterion Collection DVDs. Those will probably be the only ones I end up keeping because I still like watching those when I can. And I actually think the editions are really nice. It's nice to go through. A lot of them will have essays in there that are cool to read that give you new interpretations. And that way, at least I'm reading something.
It's also cool to get like I bought the Departed special edition and got the script. I got a copy of the script, so it was cool to have the script to like read through it
and see like how that shit's written. Like it's
right, exactly. So there are some collections out there that are fun. And my advice, if you're gonna collect, is really evaluate, okay, how much do I love this game? Like personally, if they came out with a super uber edition, collector's edition for whatchamacallit, Bloodborne 2, I'd be on that in a second. Or if they did it for a Zelda game, I'd be on that in a second. But do I really need like the collector's edition of Assassin's Creed? Like, no. So like as long as you're smart with your choices on like what you're buying and what you're a huge fan of. Like I think I was talking last time we were talking about Supergiant games. Like I have the Bastion Ultimate Collection that comes with the soundtrack and all that stuff. I want to get the Transistor one. I want to get the Pyre one. So I want to buy those because I'm a huge fan of those, and I will actually get use out of the soundtrack. I'll get use out of like the T-shirt, stuff like that.
Yeah, I have the Bastion soundtrack on CD somewhere.
Yeah, so do I.
I keep that specifically for the cover. The kid with the headphones on, fucking cool.
Exactly. So
Gen Z, you did that right.
so it's like, as long as you pick your collections, you're eventually not going to have to come to a point where you're like, I got a lot of shit to clear out of here. What do I need to get rid of? You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. So,
that motherfucker.
I think we can call that a B-side, gentlemen.
I think we can too.
Yeah.
Take us on out, Corey.
All right. Well, Thank you guys so much for watching NGR B-Sides. You can find it every Thursday at noon right here on youtube.com/NGR Radio or ngrradio.com/NGR Radio podcast. Yeah.
Hashtag redundant. No, I'm kidding.
It is. But look,
do what you got to do, man. It's the internet.
Yeah, that's how the internet works. That's how our website works, and I don't feel like fixing it. So that said, like, subscribe, and share. I've been told you have to click that little button too. There's like a bell that you have to click on now. Apparently,
yeah. Click that bell.
Click the bell.
Ring a ding a ding a.
Download our family of podcasts on your podcast service of choice. And until next Thursday, we love you.
And just a point of order, iTunes just got every single episode of Nerds Gone Rogue again.
It's true.
Yeah.
I started listening to the first episode. Man, that was terrible. I'm not sure how much better we've gotten.
Hey, you got real good because now you got me.
I mean, yes, but still, like, that's not. We just added one really good ingredient to the soup here. B-side Nana and out.